This, for me, I tend to explain in a slightly different way. It's connectedness, but for me, the thing that sits behind that connectedness is the idea that Manchester is a place that seeks common cause. That, for me, is the defining characteristic of how this city works. It is our habit, and it is a deeply ingrained habit, to explore how individual goals can be harnessed to create something that is bigger than all of them individually. That's how we think in Manchester. That's how we work. We think common cause. And to me, it underpins all of our major successes as a city over the last couple of decades. As Chris has said, the Corridor Partnership was born from this belief. MSP is its absolute embodiment. It's now, amazingly, almost 30 years since the local authorities, the universities, and some private sector partners took the decision that they wanted to establish a business that was designed to commercialize the knowledge and the ideas that emanated from our academic institutions and our research institutions. That was one heck of a vision 30 years ago. It remains a heck of a vision now. I am very fond of saying, especially at property conferences, but not exclusively at property conferences, that MSP is not a property business. And it's not. It's true that we have the USP of an extraordinary location right at the heart of the corridor, as Chris has described. And yes, it is also true that we prize our ability to provide workspace at every level of every type for every stage of business in its life cycle, from startups through to European HQs. But that's not really what makes us different. We are home to businesses large and small, which are knowledge-driven, creative, and disruptive. It was a joy to listen to Bruce Katz yesterday. I hope you were all there. It was an absolute joy, talking about complexity, density, and connectivity as the watchwords of successful enterprise in the knowledge-driven sectors of our economy. So true. And the businesses that take space with us do so because, for them, connectedness is absolutely everything. Whether that is to other innovators, to leading-edge market research, academic research, or to the complexity, which is our healthcare system. We support these businesses, and this is our USP, by acting as connectors ourselves. We facilitate access to the resources of our academic and clinical partners, and we create pathways through the spaghetti of startup and early stage funding. We provide workshops, drop-in surgeries, events, both social and professional, drawing on the specialisms and the strengths of our partners, and in that way we provide a pretty comprehensive range of business support services to these occupiers. Today, MSP is home to a collaborative community of over 160, a bit more now, of businesses from every part of the science and technology spectrum. In size, they range from high-tech startups through to European headquarters and global world-class centres of R&D excellence. These businesses outperform regional and national averages in terms of their growth, their internationalisation, and their innovation. And that performance is reflected in our own growth. In the last 12 months, over 20% of our businesses have taken additional space with us. Our customer retention rates are over 80%, and we're now over 90% full on our core campus, and demand is increasing. So we're off and running on our next stage of growth. Our thinking, again, I come back to Bruce Katz. We need to bottle him, I think, for our city, and his observations yesterday. We want diversity, depth, and active innovation in the way in which we plan our growth. The growth will come from the full spectrum of science and technology, but we will be particularly focused in these next few years on developing clusters which are derived from the particular areas of strength in the universities and in our partnerships with the NHS. Howard mentioned some of them yesterday when he talked about personalised medicine, connected health, advanced materials, and digital manufacture. Powerful academic, clinical, and commercial collaborations in these sectors will not only strengthen Manchester's position as a science city, it will drive the whole of the next phase of economic growth in Greater Manchester and in the northwest of England. For us, to accommodate this growth, we intend an aggressive expansion of the MSP core site. The opportunity there, as you can see from this, is considerable. This is an under-occupied, utilised site. We've currently got about 250,000 square feet of space, full, as I've said, on a campus that can easily accommodate about 750,000 square feet and still be an oasis at the heart of the city centre. Our plan, together with partnership opportunities off that core site, will be to drive the size of MSP's core corridor occupancy to over 1 million square feet within the next 8 years. And we're on our way. Make no apology for mentioning City Labs again. We are hugely proud of it. 28 million quid's worth of biomedical facility, 94,000 square feet, sitting slap bang on the central campus of the Hospitals Trust. This is a specialist centre, not quite as magical and obscure as I think Eamon said it was yesterday, but it is for businesses that need specialist kit, that need to be on the core campus and need access to the resources of the Trust. That partnership with a very commercially facing NHS Trust is hugely important to us. So back on the core campus in the last 12 months, we've created 2 specialist incubators, again with the Trust, and they're ready, they're nearly full. And we've also created what I call a Heart for the Park, which is a collaborative space, very flexible, designed for touchdown, flexible events, downtime in the evenings and so on. It's working really well for us. This autumn we start work on our digital technology facility. This will be 60,000 square feet of development, which will have open access and co-creation as the absolute core drivers of its design. It's right at the heart of the corridor, which is not only important in itself, because it's actually about 10 years since the last new build on the site. The thing that it will do that is, for me, more important is it acts as a real catalyst for the transformation of the entire park. I'm sure I never said this at MIPIN last year, but I am told I said that I described MSP as a rather handsome car park, surrounded by some gobsmackingly dull buildings, occupied by some gobsmackingly extraordinary, innovative and enterprising people. It's absolutely true. But we need this place to speak of the creativity of these businesses, of their ambition, their energy, and most of all, their hunger to communicate. So our plans are sure designed to provide the space that people need to work in individually, but more importantly, we will maximise the amount of shared amenity, and we will create multiple connection points so that these businesses can come together, both at work and at play. It doesn't matter what they are, bars, cafes, shower blocks, libraries, all of it creates a sense of community and reflects the exciting and groundbreaking work which these companies do. As you can see from this slide, what we call the life sciences sector, or the health sciences sector, is the largest single source of our growth at the current time. This reflects very much regional and national averages and levels of continuing strong growth in that sector. At UK level, £50 billion per annum is generated by about 450 diverse, knowledge-rich businesses. Government's own forecasts for continued growth imply that 36% is possible in the period between now and 2016. At regional level, we do okay. Greater Manchester and Cheshire perform well within the Northwest and constitute about 23% of total life science employment in the Northwest of England. Growth is really strong. As you can see in this, company numbers growing by 86% in the last decade to 2012. But, and this is the rub, investment into early life stage science companies is hugely dominated by the Southeast. Over 73% counts for growth in that area. And for us, the challenge is to change that imbalance. And you really don't have to turn the dial very far for it to have no discernible impact on London and the Southeast, which is critical to the UK's performance in this sector, but it makes a hell of a difference to us. And we're certainly up for it in MSP, and we recognise that success will only come if we get our act together as a sector across the North as a whole. We'll compete on the ground, but actually we need to join and be part of a bigger vision. Our ability to do so and to be at the forefront of that strategy will, from the end of this month, be exponentially increased.